We're gonna go live because why not? Alrighty, welcome everybody to episode 52 of the F Stops here. Sadly, we had to bump due to unforeseen circumstances, aka every single of come up. So this week we're back with no show notes and no guests, so it's going to be a little bit interesting. We're play this by ear, but we have a very tell you all the details about, but you'll definitely want to listen very closely to the magic word. Get off.
Okay, so kind of lined up a few things with a few different companies that we either work with or that some of our guests work with. Everybody probably knows that watches this that I'm a big, huge user and supporter and proponent of the Think Tank Photo line of camera bags. So I reached out to Think Tank Photo, and they're graciously offering up an airport navigator. It's a rolling bag. It's like perfect for travel because it's a rolling bag. It's easy to work through the airport. Plus, you can throw it over your shoulder like a messenger-style bag also. I don't remember the retail cost of that right off the top of my head, but I know we're like
about $300.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's roughly a $300 bag. It's no slouch, and like all the other Think Tank bags, it is of course built like a tank. It'll last through anything you put it through. I mean, I've got a couple of Think Tank bags sitting back here that I have beat the crap out of, and they still are just phenomenally awesome. Actually, they look sexier the more worn they get, as far as I'm concerned.
I've gone through two pieces of carry-on luggage in the time that I've barely put a dent in my airport bag.
Right. That's testament to Think Tank bags. If you can travel with them and they survive travel like that, then you know that they're good. So there's prize number one. Prize number two is from Olympus. They're the company that I represent and work with and kind of work for in a way as an ambassador for them. Olympus, and I don't have the Think Tank bag to show you, so you're just going to have to swing over to their website. And we can probably throw up a link here at some point in time, or I will tweet out a link if you follow me at MacDonald_photo on Twitter. I'll shoot out a link directly to that bag so you can see what it looks like. So that's the bag. I don't have it here because Think Tank Photo is actually going to ship it directly to the winner of this giveaway, so that's pretty cool. Also, so Olympus has donated this little bad boy right here. This is the Tough TG850. It's a ruggedized point and shoot that I have been using the heck out of lately. I've got my own right here. Kind of cool in that most rugged and ruggedized point and shoot cameras don't usually have a flip-up screen on them. And I know you're probably thinking, what on earth would I use a flip-up screen for? But if you've ever seen people take those photos where the camera is half underwater and half above, that's hard as hell to compose by looking at the back of the camera. If you can flip up the screen so you've actually got it above the water, it's easy to pull those shots off. And come on, those are cool. So fly to Hawaii, take a shot of a sea turtle swimming next to some hot surfer girl, half in and half out of the water with the TG850. So point and shoot camera. It's about $200 retail value for that camera. I also have a couple of little Olympus goodie bags to give away. I'm not going to tell you what's in them because it's a surprise. Some of it's kind of fun and silly, and some of it's actually you're probably going to use, so not a bad deal. And I've got something that is totally off-season because I'm actually hot in my room, but you'll be ready for next winter. I've got an Olympus beanie. And it's kind of rad because it's got built-in speakers and an inline mic, so you can hook it up to your phone and talk through it, or you could be like me and just cut the speakers out of it and just wear it as like a boss little nitty. And so that's the stuff from Olympus that they have donated and that I'm giving away as part of this. And last, and of course not least, unfortunately Alex Huff couldn't be here this week, but she graciously through Borrow Lenses, who she happens to be employed by, have procured for us a $150 gift certificate that can be used for equipment rentals at Borrow Lenses. I I just have to put this disclaimer out there. Unfortunately, if you're an international viewer or winner, I can't even talk tonight. If you're an international viewer and you win this, the Borrow Lenses gift certificate will not be able to be used by you, unfortunately, because they do not ship equipment out of the country. It's just a nightmare for them when it comes to international shipping. But they're also donating a T-shirt and I think some stickers and stuff, so they got some other swag that they're tossing in. However, if you are an international viewer and you do win, you will still be eligible to get the camera and stuff from Olympus and the bag from Think Tank Photo. Those will all ship. And I think if it just so happens that our winner is an international winner, we will... I think it would be in everybody's best interest if we took the $150 Borrow Lenses gift certificate and did a second drawing for that, eligible to just people in the United States. So that's kind of what we've got to give away this week. If you tally it all up, I mean, you're looking at like $500 worth of swag, hopefully to go to one grand prize winner. Yeah.
It's actually over $800.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So my math skills are totally. You're right. Cut me off. No more Diet Mountain.
It's a big giveaway.
Yeah. It's definitely a great giveaway. And just to kind of tie into.
I wish I could enter.
Yeah.
You can't.
We're not doing that. Sorry. So just to kind of piggyback on the whole giveaway, when we kind of do the next part of our show, generally we just kind of talk about what we've been up to and what we've been shooting. And I like to always share photos. So I'm going to share a few photos tonight that were taken with the TG850. Using a specific mode on the camera because I've just been totally loving that. So in a few minutes here when we get to that, you can kind of get a feel for what some of the capabilities of that camera are. So there's our giveaway.
Well, I think, Jamie, I think that was a great segue. So why don't you go ahead and talk about what you've been shooting recently?
Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks since we've been on, or at least, since I've been here and shared any photos. It's been a little while. So spring/summer has finally made it to Michigan in some capacity. Things are starting to green up. And for me, the last year and this year, kind of weather have been my thing. I'm a big fan of all that stuff. So stormy weather came in, and I decided it was time to kind of get out and chase some of that stuff down. So I'll share a couple of images here. Okay, so this was like my first quote-unquote like storm weather photo of the year. I was actually just out grocery shopping with my wife and constantly surveying the radar as we were shopping, and my wife saw me look at my phone like every 2 seconds. She just looks over and says, "You're gonna ditch me, aren't you?" I said, "No." I said, I'm gonna run outside real quick and look up at the sky and see what it's doing. And I grabbed the keys from her and I came back about a half hour later. So this was my first storm shot, taken with the Rokinon 7.5mm fisheye. And semi-defished to take out some of that distortion. This next one is, I was excited to be able to get this shot. There are these trees that are native to Michigan and I'm sure other areas on this side of the country, sycamore trees. They end up with a really white bark. Over time they kind of shed off their darker bark and they just become these stark white trees. This tree is giant. You really don't get too much of a sense of scale from this photo. But I've been waiting for the opportunity to get this tree in a setting where the sky in the background was just right to make the tree stand out. So I drove a little over an hour just to shoot this tree. And while I was there, I stopped at the owner of the property has cattle, and they have several different pastures, and this is one of the pastures. And I went up to the house, gave the owner one of my cards, and asked if there was any way that I could go actually out into the pasture and shoot this tree. And she was just floored that I was so excited to shoot this tree. And she said, "Yeah, go ahead. I don't think that the cows that are out there are going to attack you." And I said, "All right, that's cool. I'm not too worried about the cows." So I cross over underneath the hot wire on the fence and get out into the pasture. And as I'm walking up to this tree, I could hear footsteps behind me, and I knew it was the cows. They're kind of curious. There are about 20 of them in the field. I turn around and look, and there was a row of about 10 cattle behind me just staring at me. So I just turn around and walk maybe another 5 or 6 feet and take another shot. Turn around and look behind me, and they're like exactly the same distance as they were the last time I looked. And they did this all the way up to this tree. Like, they were just, I don't know, it's kind of weird. So I ended up walking in kind of like a big circle to get the cows on the other side of me, in between me and the tree. so that I could get this shot right here. I don't know. It's kind of funny that
nice.
I decided to take pictures of cows, but it is what it is. And then now these next 3 pictures are...
I mean, I know you've always talked about... Sorry, am I still on a delay?
Oh, horribly.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, so... Oh, well, I try. So I know you've always talked about, putting your DSLR out to pasture. I just didn't think you were actually literally going to do it. And that is my bad pun for the night.
Oh, that was worth it.
I'll take it. No, I'm laughing.
No, it's
all right,
awesome. Yeah, it's all right. Keep going.
So the next 3 photos were taken with the TG850. And these are all taken using what is called the super macro mode. Olympus has kind of put together this system in their point and shoots. Specifically, the tough cameras have this mode that allows for just some incredibly magnified macro that is just so easy to shoot. So here's one. I don't know if you're familiar with jumping spiders, but they're those little tiny ones that are like the size of your fingernail. That I don't know. I think they're kind of cute for a spider. They got the big, crazy, big eyes. And
jumping spiders are fun.
They're kind of neat. So this was taken with a TG850, which we're giving away. The next 2 photos again are going to be macros, just because I've been like on a total macro binge with this camera. Again, another one. I have no idea what in the heck this thing is, but I just again wanted to show. Now this next picture. Again, is another macro, but I've got something in the picture to give you a sense of scale, to show you just how small the things I'm photographing are. And this is a weevil. What you see back behind it, it looks like a couple of 9s. That's because those are 9s, and those are on a dime. This weevil was probably maybe a quarter the size of my pinky fingernail, and I don't have like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hands. I've got like small Jamie hands, so my pinky fingernail isn't big. So this weevil is pretty damn small. You could probably fit 2 or 3 of them on the head of an eraser, a round eraser, just to give you a sense of scale. Again, this is just like straight out of camera with the super macro mode on this point and shoot. So if you're a macro enthusiast or whatever, I think you'll... Go ahead.
Wait, so and maybe you're about to ask this. So this doesn't look like it's 1-to-1. This looks like it's actually like a magnification. Is that correct? Like, is it like 1-to-5?
It's pretty far beyond 1-to-1. Oh yeah.
Okay. So like 1-to-5x or something like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm sure that there's somewhere in the literature they might explain exactly what the level of magnification is. I just know that it is so far beyond 1-to-1, it's ridiculous. I've got photos that I've taken of, I have one somewhere floating around. I should have shared that too as a really good example. I think it was of a dollar bill, the eye on George Washington. You can actually see, it looks like the ink is raised on the bill. That's the level of magnification you get. I mean, something you would never see with your eye. And it's, again, like I said, it's just super easy to do those kind of shots. And of course, you know, the camera does a hell of a lot more than just $200.
Nice. Nice. That's not bad for macro.
So, and then I guess another couple of things to add to it. No. And, you know, it does a couple other neat things too, like some of the video modes. It's got a 120 frame per second video mode and a 240 frame per second video mode. 240 frames per second. If you slow that down to, like, you know, the Cinema 24p, you're looking at like 10 times slow. I mean, it's just like the coolest thing ever to like have a kid pop a water balloon at 240 frames per second. It's just, it's cool. So
I think that's isn't that the one that also the camera that Alex took a photo of him falling backwards into the pool?
Yes, and he did that at, I think, 240 frames per second as well.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Now, you know, you're going to sacrifice some resolution at 240 frames per second because, I mean, it is a point-and-shoot camera. So what you're going to end up with is, it's small, and I don't remember the exact dimensions of it, but the video file size is, like, it's great for something like Facebook or, you know, put on your wall on Facebook. You're not going to play those videos at 240 frames per second back on your 60-inch LED TV or something. It's just not scalable to that size. But for sharing on the web and stuff, dude, it's super cool to just make those fun little videos with it. So that's
That's all. That's all Jamie gets to say for the rest of the show. You're cut off.
Yeah, I feel like Josh. Josh used to be good at cranking out some conversations, so I guess it was my turn.
Which, unfortunately, we were supposed to have Josh on the show this week. So, Josh, if you're listening in right now, please let us know because we will definitely make sure that we invited you. But
please dial
but
1
no response. So.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, Zach, what have you been up to the last couple weeks?
In the last 2 weeks,
besides moving your office.
Yes. So, for anybody that can't see, I'm now in the basement, thanks to the impending child that's going to be here in a few months. We moved the office down to the basement so that we've got the nursery now and all that other crap and blah blah blah. Anyways, in the last we haven't had a show in 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So probably in the last 2 weeks, I think I've shot no less than a dozen clients, ranging from weddings to newborns and everything in between, families. I did a little product work. I'm not going to share any of it. It's pretty standard stuff, but it's definitely kept me busy and made me realize that being a full-time photographer is legitimately a full-time job. I don't know how anybody does it because I'm trying to balance a 40-hour work week and still get that amount of work done, and it's just impossible. I mean, every night for the past 2 weeks, I have done some sort of post-processing. The nice thing is it's really kind of got me to focus more on streamlining my workflow. So really kind of taking advantage of kind of preventative photography, we'll call it. So checking
it
to
right
make sure
camera.
exactly. Yeah. So making sure my white balance is correct, and if it's not correct, at least making sure the white balance is consistent across shots, so that Lightroom sync settings, takes care of doing a chunk of 40 photos in about 10 seconds. And then all I got to do is go back in and tweak crop and everything else. So that's been pretty crazy. I did pick up some new toys. Got myself a nice pair of cans. So I'm pretty excited about that. Picked up another Alien Bees B800. My thought process is that we suffered from a lot of really funny looking shadows from the last wedding that we did, and a lot of it had to do with the venue because we had a lot of fall off. It was outdoors underneath of a pavilion, so we lost a lot of light up high and we lost a lot of light out because there were no walls on the pavilion. But if I'd had a second light, I really could have cut down on some of those shadows, or at least made the lighting a little bit easier. So picked up another one of those. I still haven't taken the 35mm off of my 5D Mark II. That still continues to be the lens that I will recommend to anybody and everybody that has a full-size DSLR, because that lens really is just absolutely. I'm not going to gush again. You've heard it every week that we've done the show since I bought the damn thing. But that was really cool too. I actually got I got a nice share from Sigma on their Facebook page. My review went out to them, which caused about a 600% increase in traffic to my website for a grand total of 2 days, which was pretty crazy.
Nice.
So that was a lot of fun. But other than that, it's just been mostly. I actually haven't been able to do a whole lot of fun shooting. I'm really kind of hoping that once we have one more wedding at the end of this month, and then things will kind of settle down a little bit until about September. Then we get this little baby or something coming to the house around that time too. So I'd imagine life will get a little bit busier. But other than that, that's about it.
So stupid question. What were those big buff cans? What's in those?
So these are the protective bags that they make for the. I'll pull it out here.
Oh, for your AB800s?
Yeah. So.
Oh, nice.
So it actually fits. I'll show it here because this is great audio. But it fits right in there. It's padded, and then.
Nice.
I bought a white one this time. I figured I would go with the bride and groom set. And then what's really nice is it fits in there with the 7-inch reflector.
Oh, cool.
And all of the cords. So that was close. It fits the sync cable and the power cord.
Yep.
And then it zips up real nice. And then everybody wonders why you're carrying around a bag that says Buff on the top.
Sweet.
Yeah, but that's it. They got a nice little carrying strap.
Now, another dumb question. Is that like a Paul C. Buff product?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, they came right from the website. They were only like $22 or something.
cool.
I didn't think it was real expensive considering I've already busted one of the light bulbs, throwing it in the back of my car. So, and those light bulbs are about $15 a piece.
Better protect them.
Yeah, it was my thought. Joe, what have you been shooting lately?
Sweet. Alrighty, everybody. So before we get started, I do want to let everybody know that there is Q&A enabled, and since we really don't have show... What?
Are you not going to tell us what you've been shooting?
Q&A enabled, so if you guys want to ask us questions, you can ask us questions because we have almost nothing else to talk about.
I have a question.
Unless that's just Zach interrupting me again.
I have a question.
God. Did you submit it to the Q&A app? Because I don't see it on the Q&A. Why?
I can't. You can't submit a question to the Q&A app if you're on the show. Actually, I think you can. My question, what have you been shooting?
Oh, well played.
So we're not going to answer
for everybody's
question about where's Josh? Or did we answer that already by saying we have no idea where Josh is?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to officially answer that with we have no idea where... Yeah, no
Zach,
idea
we
where
need to
Josh
tighten
is.
the
All
string
right, so
between
anyway.
the can that's going to Joe's house.
I know, right? I know. So, for everybody that doesn't know, I've relocated to go on the West Coast, and I am now living in Cleveland, Ohio. So it is something where we drove across the country over the last couple days, which I will in no way, shape, or form say that was because it was 3 hours of sitting in the car that got very hyper and started farting horribly. So it was a very interesting drive, and I got to take some pictures out of the car window because we didn't have too much time to actually stop and smell the roses per se. And during this time, I bastardized some of Jamie's shooting styles for some really cool landscapes that I hope come out very well, and I will show next week when I actually have time to edit them. And then I also, as I tried to...
Oh boy.
So this this year I've can you not hear? Hello. I know you can't see me, but anyway.
Joe, are you there?
Yeah.
Joe, we can't hear you.
Hello. This isn't a straw. This is a microphone.
Oh boy.
Nothing.
Yeah, we can hear you. Just keep talking.
Really? Oh, you're an ass. So I shot about 4 rolls of film on the way out. So we'll have to see how those.
Oh my God! You can add it to the other 12 rolls you haven't gotten developed yet.
long list of stuff I have not developed, but I will be developing all of that this summer.
This is how Joe gets out of sharing anything.
Yeah,
I shot it on film. My bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen eventually. So I will make a point to not only share it later this year, but gratuitously share it till a point where you have to kick me off the show.
This year's a loose term.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, that's what I have been shooting some random stuff over the last week or so, and then obviously leaving. But yeah, I have unfortunately nothing to share today because we got in yesterday, and I haven't had time to literally do anything except try to unpack. But yeah, so that's what I've been shooting. Alrighty. So looks like in news today, since we're going to be making stuff up on the fly, it looks like the Adobe is releasing a touch-friendly full version of Photoshop.
No.
With the Surface Pro 3.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let's not make up rumors here.
Yeah.
It is a full-fledged touch.
Fine.
No, you're not. You said a touch full version of Photoshop. It is a full-fledged touchscreen version of Photoshop. There's a very big difference there. One is a touch version of Photoshop. The other is full Photoshop. This will still not be Photoshop.
So.
And it's also still not out
How so?
for goddamn Android. How so what?
Well, it looks like full photo. I mean, it's
Just wait till Joe gets a chance to go back and watch this. Then he'll understand what the deal is.
How bad the lag is.
Holy crap.
I bet it's terrible. Maybe I should just communicate via chat. Hello?
It's something.
Yeah, no, we're here.
Yeah, I wonder if your chat's lagged too.
Yeah, so this is pretty interesting. I think everybody's kind of clamoring for a touch version of the software. Again, you know, this kind of really plays it. We talked about this before when they made the announcement that Photoshop CC was coming to iPad. It's great for on-the-go editing because it does sync up with your Adobe Cloud, but you do have to have a Creative Cloud membership, which for some people that $10 a month is a little much. But that being said,
and that's if you can log in.
Okay. Yeah. I never ran into that problem. I get it. Like it was definitely widespread, but I was doing editing the entire time and never had an issue with any of the stuff that they were talking about. So that's kind of odd. Joe.
Oh. Yeah, I've always had problems installing into my older MacBook Pro, which maybe that's why. But I've never really gotten that thing to work without just totally destroying my bandwidth. Oh, that's a nice shirt. I like it.
Thanks.
We got to make new ones.
I designed it.
Stop here. I know you did. That's why I'm saying it's a nice shirt. It's cool. I like it. So this is one of the times when I really wish Josh was actually on the show because I would love to hear his thoughts on the Surface Pro 3 in terms of mobile editing, which I guess is just technically pen-based.
Again, I'll give you my thoughts. Mobile editing is great in a pinch, but you're never going to do, well, I won't say never. You're very rarely going to do client work on it.
Yeah, I don't.
Even if it's like basically a full machine, because I mean.
No. I think something like this, the size of that is too small to really dig into the nitty-gritty of a photo. Will you do color correction for a photo? Sure. Will you do Instagram filters for a photo? Absolutely. But I don't think if you're a wedding photographer, it's going to be a long time before you're picking up a iPad or a Surface Pro 3 or whatever and doing an entire 1,000-image photo or wedding on that device.
Well, I mean, I think it would happen with a Surface Pro 3 over an iPad, just because it's arguably an ultrabook without a keyboard. But that said, I mean, yeah, you're going to definitely run into stuff with, in terms of specifically like video RAM and rendering. But,
I'll tell you who that are people that are just now getting into photography and they grow up with that being their workflow.
Yeah.
Like me, I'm dual monitors. I've got two big ass screens sitting in front of my face. I hate my 13-inch MacBook Pro.
It's the worst
for editing. It's like I can't edit on that. I'll transfer stuff to it and I'll do some quick stuff like Zach said. I'll just if I need to fire something out for social real quick and I'm away, and I'm working off of that, sure, but I do the bulk of everything is done on a big screen where I can really, get a good look at what I'm doing. I mean, I'm 40. Maybe it's because my eyes are going bad. I don't know, but I'll tell you, I couldn't do it on a tablet. There's no way. That's just me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah, and I mean, this kind of goes back to a conversation that Zach and I were actually having earlier today about the pros and cons of having desktop editing versus laptop editing. So, because I'm planning on having my next machine be a desktop because I want the graphics card power, and it's a lot cheaper for me to do that in a desktop version than it is to do on a laptop, which I'm going to eventually just connect to a monitor anyway, 98% of the time. So, granted, I would imagine if I'm doing a lot of shooting or something along those lines, then maybe that would change in the future, but I don't see myself going that route. So I'm definitely curious on your thoughts, Jamie, And Zach, you can definitely complain more about my decision making.
Blueberry pancake. That's my thought on it.
Got it.
Okay?
That, by the way, was
that-
the magic word.
Blueberry pancake. So if you're listening, then we'll show you in the show notes page / Jamie's, I don't know, Facebook page / I don't know, somewhere else. That is one of the ways to enter in the Rafflecopter giveaway.
So Jamie, what's your opinion on that, on Joe's dumb decision?
On my dumb decision?
On your dumb decision. You know what's weird is your video is actually moving faster than your voice.
Yes.
Light is traveling faster than sound.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on which part?
On Joe.
As a person?
Yes.
And his decision-making processes?
On his
God, we were talking about computers. What happened?
No, I was just too worried about getting the secret word out. Sorry, I kind of lost track of.
So Joe wants to buy a Mac Pro in lieu of buying.
If I could
A Mac
afford it,
Pro?
but I can't. Yeah, ideally, I'd love a Mac Pro. It's going to be more of an iMac. Let's be honest.
do what?
It's not going to be a Mac Pro because
Yeah, I have the 27-inch iMac, and I had the ability to go either way. I would have had to come up with money for displays worthy of a Mac Pro, but I'll tell you what, I do a decent amount of video on this thing now, dude, and it crunches the video so freaking fast, it's just ridiculous. I say get an iMac. I mean, you get an incredible, beautiful 27-inch display. Believe me, it's going to be more powerful than you need it to be. I just know it is, because you're not going to be developing your analog film on it, right? It'll be way more powerful than you need. It'll be what you need.
No, there's about it starts at like a $2,000 price difference. So yeah, it's definitely, as much as I'd love a Mac Pro that I could just eventually build up over time. I think it's just going to be an iMac
that how you build out your iMac.
True, but
I could have got
the starting cost of a Pro is a 3K, and then it goes up to 4K for a processor bump, and then it can go up to like 15K depending on what you add.
The 27-inch iMac with 32 gigs of RAM and the biggest what do you call it, SSD you can get. Trust me, you can make an iMac the same cost as a Mac Pro if you want. I'm just saying you don't even have to go that high to get a beast of a machine.
Right.
So my thing.
Yeah.
Or if you want to, or build a Hackintosh.
My thing with Joe was really more so my selection, especially for anybody new watching. I know Joe outside of the show personally, and have interacted with him.
Unfortunately.
Right. So that being said, I know that Joe travels a ton. So my argument to Joe earlier today was that he would benefit more from a MacBook Pro than a Mac Pro, all things equal, in that if he has work to do, client or otherwise, he's not going to be able to take the Mac Pro with him and do it in a hotel room. I edit on a MacBook Pro. It is a actually just had the stats up. I have 16 gig RAM. It's a 2.6 gigahertz Intel Core i5. It's the 2014 or whatever the new one is. And I have never had issues with any kind of editing. I can do video, I can do audio, I can do photos. It doesn't lag. And I have it hooked up to a 27-inch cinema display.
There you go. That's the answer right there.
Right.
Secondary display.
So as long as you've got a secondary display for your home base, my argument was that editing on a laptop is going to be universally more flexible than a Mac Pro.
Yep, and bring a Thunderbolt to HDMI cable with you when you travel.
Yeah.
Because most hotel rooms have an LCD display or plasma, and now you've got a secondary display that might not be color corrected, but at least it'll speed up your workflow having that secondary display.
Right. I mean, I know for me
personally... So here comes...
for me personally, a lot of the shoots that I do are while I'm away for a weekend or something like that. And it's nice to be able to take those memory cards and immediately throw them on my laptop's hard drive so that I've got a second copy, so that when I get home I can make a third copy on an external drive. Yeah.
Right. So we do have a couple Q&A questions, so I'm going to just respond, and then we'll probably go on that route. But yeah, it's just something where, to me, I'm going to have to bring another computer traveling, so I just don't know if that's really... The pros outweigh the cons. It's just, purely from a cost perspective, I feel I can get, more processing power and more stuff to crunch with doing desktop via laptop. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something where, my Mac Pro is like mid-2009, so I'm definitely due for an upgrade. It's just trying to figure out what makes sense, because yes, I used to run Aperture 3 on this with relatively no problems, but and arguably I'd probably be using an external either way. But yeah, just trying to figure out the best. So anyway, we got a question from Jake about the raffle. It will be in the show notes. We'll be broadcasting out a link. It's also going to be on Zach's, I think one of the main raffle copper widgets will be on Zach's blog, which is somewhere right there, seagolfphotography.com. So go ahead and do that. And then once again, the magic word is blueberry pancakes, if you guys have missed it already. I think we might say it one more time in the show, and that's it. So definitely make sure, if you want that bonus entry, use the magic word.
And just so everybody knows, there are a few mandatory selections that have to be completed in that raffle copper widget. We will not be picking a winner that has not completed all of those. There's some very easy things to do, and obviously if you don't have Twitter or Facebook, we'll understand. But definitely, you need to know the magic word, which means you need to have watched the show, and you need to just pretty much follow and or like every single person that's involved in the giveaway. That's really kind of all there is to it.
All right, and then so Jamie, we got another question for you. What is your favorite location in Jackson for photos?
Oh boy, so seeing as how I grew up in Jackson, I shoot a couple of different ways. So I've got two different things I enjoy. One of them is just kind of nature and wildlife. I don't live in Jackson anymore. I live in Eaton Rapids, north of Jackson, so I drive down to rural highway M50. There's a lot of scenic spots along that drive, but one that really stands out for me is just south of this little tiny, I don't even want to call it a town. They literally have like a blinking light where they're at. It's called Tompkins Center. Just south of Tompkins Center, if you're headed northbound, it'll be on your right-hand side. It is one of the highest points geographically in Jackson County. It is a rolling pasture. If you skim through my photos on Flickr, you'll find several photos that have been taken in that spot. Just look for the photos that look like a very elevated rolling pasture land. I've got a really cool black and white with some fluffy clouds sitting on top of it that were shot there. And then if I want to do something a little more urban, I really just enjoy the downtown area. I kind of wander around behind some of the local businesses downtown. A lot of them have been there since the 20s or the teens, and just architecturally speaking, there are a lot of really interesting things to shoot there, a lot of fine small details, so it's fun to just get something where I can get in close. My 60mm macro gets used a lot, which is not something most people would think of if you're going to be shooting in like a downtown area. I know a lot of people shoot wider, but usually when I'm in a setting like that, I'm shooting in close for just the little nuggets that most people walk past and don't notice. So M50 between Jackson and Eaton Rapids for rural stuff, and downtown Jackson behind a lot of the local establishments there for urban shooting. Thanks for asking, Jake.
And Jake, excellent videos. I was
Sweet.
On
Jake
earlier.
rocks, yeah.
I was on earlier watching some of his wedding stuff, and it's really cool.
All right, so Jamie, we've
If
got
I
another
ever find
question from
anybody that
William.
needs a videographer in Michigan, I'll look you up. Have them look
Okay,
you up.
so
There you go.
currently my favorite Olympus lens and camera combination and why. It's kind of a loaded question, Bill, just because it depends on what I'm shooting. But I will honestly tell you that like my go-to lately has been the EM10 because it's like super tiny when I put on one of the body cap lenses. If I put on the 9mm fisheye body cap lens, that's kind of been like a big favorite just because I can put it in the armrest of my car. But of course, like my all-time favorite, just completely, if I had to choose one camera lens combo out of everything I've got right now, it'd probably really just be the EM1 and the 17mm, just because it's kind of wide, but it's not super wide. It's just a focal length that works for me. So the 17mm f1.8 and the EM1 are like the ones I can't live without right now.
Nice, very
So
nice.
that's that. Thanks for the
Alrighty.
30-second wait there, Joe. I love that.
This is brutal.
Hey, I do what I can, or what my computer cannot. Whatever. Tomatoes, tomatoes.
I'll answer
Alrighty,
Anthony's
so
question too.
Oh my God, Joe, stop it.
Firstborn son, Anthony. Firstborn son. No, really though, seriously. What do you want to do to win it? If you're following me on Twitter, at MacDonald, that's M-A-C, like the farmer, not the fast food joint, at MacDonald_photo. Follow me on Twitter, and you'll see me tweeting out like a madman how to get to it. But basically, there's going to be a raffle copter on Zach's blog, or Zach's website, and you just need to fulfill the requirements on there. And basically, they're going to be, you need to follow all the sponsors. So you're going to need to follow Olympus at Get Olympus. You need to follow Think Tank Photo at Think Tank Photo. You need to borrow lenses. I can't even talk. Good Lord. You need to follow Borrow Lenses at Borrow Lenses, and you need to follow me, buddy. Okay, at MacDonald Photo. And there are a few other stipulations on there. Of course, the more of these you fill, am I correct, Zach? The more entries you end up with.
Yes, that's correct. And some of them can be done more than once.
There you go, Anthony. There's a lot of ways to kind of get your claws in there for this drawing. So get in there, man. Follow me on Twitter, and you'll see me tweeting. I've already tweeted.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that Bill's favorite lens lately
on
is the 17mm too.
Yep, and it looks like Zach's probably going to be posting this on the show while we're talking. So feel free to actually enter now if you want, especially if you've already heard the magic word.
It's not live until 10 o'clock. It's not live until 10 o'clock.
Oh, sorry, it's not live till 10 o'clock. 10
That
o'clock
was in case
Eastern.
we decided to
What's wrong with
change the magic word.
Oh, why would we do something like that? That
To make
sounds
them watch
insane.
the whole show.
Take care, Bill.
Oh, jeez. So should we have more than one magic word then?
No, we're not going to. The
That's
magic
just gonna
word
be
is
really
blueberry
confusing.
waffles or pancakes or whatever the heck it was.
It's blueberry pancakes.
Okay.
It's blueberry pancakes.
Yes, I'm hungry.
Seen Road Trip? Like, it's an amazing movie. And it's also over a decade old, but it's an amazing movie. So, anyway.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, what else? What else can we talk about for the next 20 minutes to waste some time?
So, okay, let's talk about what planned events do you guys have coming up? Because, man, I got a kick-ass one this Saturday that I am just itching to talk about.
Well, why don't you tell us about it?
I'm going to the most beautiful city on
Yeah.
earth. I'm going to Detroit.
Las Vegas? Oh.
Actually, I'm going to be part of we've got a local meetup group, and I'm getting to fulfill something that I've been wanting to do for the last several years, and at the same time take a group of photographers along with me to experience it as well. We'll be urbexing in Detroit. If you get time, just do a Google search for St. Agnes in Detroit. That is one of the locations that we're going to visit. There are a couple of other locations, and the primary focus of this was St. Agnes as far as the meetup group is concerned. We're going to stop off at another area called the Lincoln Street Art Park. Just think controlled graffiti, and that's kind of what the point of Lincoln Street is, I guess, to a degree. And then once those two locations are done, everybody will be on their own, but they're welcome to come along with us if they want. We're going to visit 2 other really cool locations. One of them is the Fisher Body Plant, which is this big, sprawling industrial site that has just got the most insane stuff to shoot. I know Thomas Hawk has been there to shoot. Who else have I seen that's posted from there? I think R.C. Concepcion, he's been there, I think. Some bigger names have shot there. I mean, people come from all over the world to shoot that location, as well as the Lee Plaza, and I think that was, I'm not sure if it was a hotel or if it was like luxury apartments, but it's a big, tall, I think like 20-story building that is completely abandoned. There's roof access, so again, each floor has its own photo opportunities plus the ability to make it onto the roof and shoot big vistas of the surrounding areas. Would be kind of rad, so I'm really looking forward to this. So you know what I'll be sharing next week. A lot of Urbex photos.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Jamie, we gotta meet up now that I'm on the East Coast at some point in time. Sure.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe,
I'm definitely
you just caught up.
I just caught up? Really?
Yeah. Well, you were for a little bit, and then it died. Oh.
Damn it. So close. But yeah, so speaking of events, actually, I believe Zach and I are trying to redo some more Photo Walk Alliance events in the summer and fall. So it's gonna be interesting. I know that he's very busy, and by the time he has his kids, I don't think I'm gonna ever see him again for the next like 5 years. But hopefully we'll get him out for an event or two. But yeah. So, and we have another question from Jake, and man, I wish we had Jason Allen on the show tonight, who got his show. He had to skip last week because he was nominated for an Emmy. I'm not making this up, but so yeah, I think we might have had an Emmy award. Yeah, we might have had an Emmy award-winning person on the show, which is pretty awesome in our first year. But anyway, so Jake's got definitely a great question about, and it sounds like to me he's trying to.
He wants to know about the GH4 for photos. He's already planning on using it for video, but he's curious about the photo capability of it. And I'm gonna say I'm sure it's a solid performer. It's all cutting-edge technology from Panasonic. It's the latest sensor technology. I'm sure it's going to be great. Just keep in mind that you'll want to get image stabilized lenses for that body, but I'm sure you know that already anyways if you're going to be using it for video. I could direct you to follow Giulio Schiorio, and I will get a hold of you personally, Jake, and give you his information. Giulio is a Panasonic Luminary, I think is their title. He's a representative for Panasonic, and he's the guy when it comes to Panasonic, and pretty rad dude all around. So I'll connect you with him, and you'll be totally set. Just buy Olympus glass. You're not going to
and
go wrong with that to go on that body.
Yeah, and I definitely think that, Jamie, I know we've kind of talked about this a little bit, and I think we actually even mentioned it on our last show with Alex about going full frame to Micro Four Thirds. You have the money. I guess each format has its advantages and disadvantages.
Oh yeah, completely.
Because I did come across. I did come across a video the other day, which I don't know if it's actually true or not. I think it was on Petapixel, and there was like multiple updates because people were trying to verify the math or not. But
no, it's not right. You can't argue.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Do you want to bring people up to speed real quick, because I'm not sure if everybody understands what's going on, and you can probably explain it better than I can.
In 9 minutes, it's going to be tough. But okay, so the argument was that the difference between full frame and like a crop sensor format is that so for example, we use Micro Four Thirds because it's a 2x crop factor. So a 25 millimeter on my camera would be equivalent to a 50 millimeter on like a 5D Mark III. This person is arguing that even though it is
the hat's off.
Yeah, I'm getting into it now, man. No, so
dun, dun, dun.
In this room. So I think if I can remember correctly, I think his argument was that, so we'll say that my 25 millimeter f1.8, he is saying is really the field of view of a 50 millimeter, but the aperture is going to be equivalent to like 3.6, because not only are we doubling the field of view, he says we're also doubling the aperture, which is incorrect. And the reason that's incorrect is because the lens is designed for the sensor. So it is f1.8 for that sensor. Now, if you tried to move that lens to a different size sensor, sure, you're going to get less light covering that sensor because it's a smaller image circle that it's creating. Does that follow me so far? 30-second delay?
Nope, you're good.
Nods head, or he's, I don't know, lost.
Yep.
Did it make sense to you, Zach? I'll just wait for your...
Yeah,
No,
you're good.
So,
what is that supposed to mean?
So basically, you're slow. And I'm just going to leave it there, brother. So like I said, his argument was that not only are you doubling your field of view, you're also actually losing a stop of light because you're doubling what your f-stop value is, which, again, like I said, is incorrect because the lenses that go on my camera were designed with my sensor size in mind. So the amount of light hitting my sensor is proportionate to the equivalent lens on a larger sensor. I mean, think about it, you know, the image circle created by this is designed for a small sensor, which is what my camera has. If you look at the back of like a 9mm on a Canon, it's going to be twice as big, but then again, the sensor is like twice as big. So you're trying to get an equal amount of light to your sensor. Now, there are definitely going to be some differences because of the crop factor and the field of view difference. Your depth of field is definitely going to change, and that's fact. You know, he's right on that if he's arguing that, because I didn't watch his video. He did another one prior to that, and I was just like, oh my god, this guy's on crack. So I didn't watch the second one because I think he was just trying to further make his point, which wasn't correct in the first place. So I didn't watch the second one, but I know from the first video that he did talk about how you don't get the same depth of field from one sensor size to the other, and he's right about that. And I didn't listen fully through to what his explanation of it was. Hopefully he got that part right. But as far as him trying to say that f2 on Micro Four Thirds isn't the same as f2 on full frame, he's just wrong on that. So
just wrong.
Just wrong, man.
Yeah,
just wrong.
as another. Oh my god, just wrong. So Jake also has mentioned the Metabone Speed Booster, which I have actually never heard of. Have either of you guys?
We've talked about that on the show before, Joe.
Joe just probably wasn't here. That's a common occurrence. So.
That's a good point.
Well, yeah. Was I not here? Was I just not listening to you, Zach? Because normally that's why I don't understand things. Is I just tune you out. You know, change the channel. So I'm going to Google this right now because I have no idea what this is.
So Metabone Speed.
Jamie, can you hear Joe? It sounds like he's gone again.
Oh, you're just streaming, Jack.
Joe, are you there? Joe, are you there?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Hello? Joe?
I'm here.
What? Hello?
Oh my god.
Joe, are you there? You there?
It's like an old Verizon.
At least I'm not muted. At least I'm not muted this time. Yeah,
Joe,
yeah. I'm just gonna keep talking because nobody can hear me. So
instead of everybody sitting here watching you Google something that you don't know about, let's wrap up real quick with one bit of good news. Friend of the show, Alex, is kind of involved with lens tag. We've talked about it before on the show. He
kind of involved.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Kind of involved.
Yeah,
it's a cute
it's like kind of involved is like the biggest understatement of the century. But okay, go for it.
So because of Alex, LensTag has a new feature. They're now able to track down serial numbers as long as it's embedded in the metadata of the photo to figure out if people are stealing your photos, which is great because that happens. Yeah, and as I put it today in my Facebook post. If you are not signed up for LensTag, then and you're a photographer, then you're an idiot who is also a photographer. So go ahead and get signed up for that. As the article stated, because Alex actually, she accidentally marked her camera as stolen when she had a couple flashes stolen. She got an alert from LensTag Rescue that it had found her camera, and that's when it was noticed that the photo was on some random person's blog, and so Trevor decided to just go ahead and implement that for everybody. And so now LensTag Rescue will also find your images if they were taken with your registered gear, which is really cool.
Now the Olympus cameras, their metadata actually captures the serial number for the lens. Now I'm curious if it works for all your serial numbers.
Yeah, I kind of want to know how it works, because I think it would be kind of neat if one of us took another person's photo just to kind of test it out.
Test it?
Yeah.
That's super rad. Yeah, Trevor's like genius.
Yeah.
So.
We'll have to dig into that and see if we can.
Yep.
Cool.
Maybe I'll have to steal one of Joe's photos.
So yes, sign up.
You got to develop the film first.
Sign up for LensTag. Yeah, no. It would be, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where those photos end up, because I doubt they're anywhere. But yes. You want to wrap this up?
Nope.
Nope. Really?
No.
I'll do it.
You gave me the option. Okay, so as usual, thanks again for tuning in and watching, not listening. We're not doing the audio anymore. Just got too lazy. If you did enjoy the show, please watch us again. Like us on YouTube. Make sure you follow everybody that's involved in the show and also involved in our great giveaway that we're giving away. I will post in the comment to tonight's show a link to where you can find the giveaway. That goes live in approximately 5 minutes, so go ahead and start signing up now. I expect that Jamie will wake up with 1,000 followers in his Gmail or email account.
Better. Okay, come on.
Twitter. So, oh, that was weird. I just heard myself talking. So once I get that posted, make sure you go over and do that. Do all the follows, do all the likes, do all the stuff that's involved. Don't forget the magic word is
Blueberry pancakes.
Pancakes, yeah.
Blueberry pancakes. Very good. So that being said, it's been a great evening. I got a stink bug that's flying around under my desk right now, so I'm going to run upstairs and scream like a little girl. This has been a fantastic 52 episodes with you two. Mostly with Jamie. Joe was only here for about half.
Oh, come on!
Even today, he was only here for half of it.
So that being said, guys, it's been a whole lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the next 52. Looking forward to seeing where everything goes. So for myself and Joe and Jamie, all of our guests prior and in the future, all of our current and former co-hosts, you have been watching episode 52 of the F Stops Here podcast. And now Joe's going to click end the show.
30 seconds late.
Still waiting.
He just dropped out
Oh my God, he did.
and left it live.
We have no idea. Oh, Jesus, Joe. Hold on.
Boy.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
If we both back out, will this just end?
Maybe.
It's going to have to. What the hell is it going to record if we're not here?
I don't know. It'll just keep going.
All right, everybody, take care.
Talk to you later.
It's nice. Bye.